What is the most computer illiterate thing you've witnessed? We hired a guy for software testing. We gave him a Word document that was basically text and screenshots about the application he was supposed to test. I left him alone for 30 minutes. He finally came to me and told me that he could not log into the application. I asked him what the error was, and he said he could not get the login prompt to accept any text. Well, he did not have the application up. He only had the Word document up. He was trying to log into a screenshot of the application. I couldn't help but laugh my butt off. TLDR, new employee was trying to log into a screenshot. When I was working at a fairly large firm, we had a lady from McKinsey come talk to us about the future of the computer industry and where the company should be investing. She did this too, repeatedly attempting to log into a screenshot, and she was absolutely clueless until some guy went and helped her. All my lower teeth came loose when my jaw hit the floor with a thud. I used to work tech support for a few ISPs. I once had a customer call in. He had just signed up and received his modem, but couldn't get online. After a few minutes I discovered that he didn't own a computer. I worked for a telecommunications company doing installation of high-speed data and cable. We had an elderly woman call in to set up new internet service, and she asked our call center rep, "Do you supply a modem, or will you use mine?" Our rep stated that we will supply her with a modem. When I got out to her house, I asked where she would like it set up, and she pointed to a monitor and a keyboard on a desk. I looked around but didn't see her PC tower, and it went like this. Me: "Where's the rest of your computer?" Her: "You guys said you'd bring the modem." Me: "Yes, I've got it right here, but where's your tower?" Her: "I threw it away. You said you were bringing one." She thought her PC case was a modem and tossed it, thinking we would be supplying her with a brand new computer. At least 5 times a year I have to deal with my computer froze up, so I grab 2 double A batteries, go over to the employee's desk and place the batteries in the mouse. Voila! You should ask the company to stop buying wireless mice. Once I went to an office where the client was complaining that her computer broke at 10 o'clock every day, so I aimed to get there for 9:30. 10 came and went and not a single error to report. So I go and find the owner and tell her it's all okay. She asked if I could stay on and just check the system over for her. She offered me a cough, which, being a computer technician, I obviously accepted. So, she reaches behind the computer, pulls out the power cord and plugs it into a small kettle by the computer. She then points at the screen and screamed, "Look, it's just gone off again." Working in an office max about 8 years ago, the photo printing hype was just starting to get popular, and everyone and their grandpa wanted a photo printer. One day, this old man, at least 75, comes in and tells me he wants this particular HP photo printer, $200 model. I happily get one for him, and ring it out. Fast forward about 2 days, this old man calls the store and asks for me. I talk with him for a brief period of time. Here is how the conversation played out. Me: "Yes sir, what can I help you with?" Him: "Hi, you sold me that Hewlett-Packard photo printer the other day, right?" Me: "Yep." Him: "It isn't printing photos." Me: "Alrighty, let me just run you through a few questions, and hopefully we can get you to printing photos soon. First off, you have it plugged into the wall, and it is turned on, right?" Him: "Yep. The lights are all on and it is making noises." Me: "Okay, that's a good sign. Now I know I didn't sell you a USB cable. Are you using an existing cable to plug it into your computer?" Him: "I don't have a computer." Me: "I see. Do you have a digital camera? Are you able to take the memory card out of your digital camera and plug that into the printer?" Him: "I don't have a digital camera." Me: "Okay. What are you trying to print the photos from?" Him: "I saw all those pretty photos it was printing in the store, and I just wanted to have it print some pretty pictures to put up around my house." Me: "Fassapin, those pictures are a part of a demonstration program that we use only in the store. Tell you what, go ahead and bring the printer back. We'll give you a refund on the printer, and also give you a few high quality prints from the demo model to take home." TLDR, old man bought a printer to print photos without any computer or camera, thinking it would randomly print pretty pictures. I don't know why, but this made me enormously sad. So, a while back at the company I work at, there was this senior VP in the legal division as a patent attorney. This guy was one of the best patent lawyers at our company at the time. Really intelligent, and a lot of people looked up to him, and there were instances where the fate of the company was in his hands when the company was young and smaller. Now this guy has to deal a lot with patents and contracts, reading them, editing them, approving them, and so on. So with these documents that are typically around 20 pages but sometimes are up to 50, there is a lot of that involved. The editing process for this guy, however, was slightly different. You see, he didn't know how to copy and paste. So what does he do, you ask? He retypes every single contract and patent as it comes through, even for just slight edits. Retypes the whole freaking thing. 20 pages, with every single document he gets. He does this for 2 years before someone finds out and introduces him to copy and paste. One of my favorite workplace stories. I guarantee you this was actually part of his success. If he was forced to retype an entire document, he'd have to process it in his own words explicitly, which would help him truly understand what was going on, and ergo, provide the best suggestions for editing the patent. This sounds like an interesting, albeit tedious, method to truly learn and understand something. Back in the early 90s, we were using Procom to support users remotely. They just had to have a modem, install the software, and give us the number. Anyways, most of our clients were small non-profit outfits, typically staffed by older folks, and one of them was having issues. We tried to connect, got nothing. Asked them repeatedly, do you have a modem? Is it plugged in, turned on? Is it attached to the phone line? Is it attached to the computer? etc. etc. All yes. So eventually we decided we'd have to make the 2+ hour drive to their location to help them in person. The modem was duct taped to the side of the monitor with nothing connecting it to the computer, except the tape. This must have been around 2003. I was working in IT at a big ad agency in NYC. I was doing a database project which dealt with financial data. I went down to accounting to sort some things out with one of the users. When I got there, I looked over the woman's shoulder while she was working, and I saw that she had an Excel spreadsheet open. The sheet had a column of numbers along with some other data. I then watched as she manually added up the numbers on an adding machine sitting on her desk and then typed in the total. I was floored. It turned out, the entire department worked like this. I tried to explain to her that Excel will do that automatically, but I was unable to get through. After a couple of attempts, I just gave up and went back upstairs. I once spent nearly 20 minutes walking a user through copy, paste, and save as in Word. By the end of the call, I was sitting slumped over with my head on my desk, muttering into my headset. I'd try to write up a transcript, but my mind has long since blocked the details of that memory. Older woman using the address book on her computer. Her. How do I send an email? Me. Click on mail in the dock. Her. Clicks on mail. Where did my address book go? Me. It's behind the mail window. Her. Looks behind the monitor. I work in the document management industry. Basically, this means my company makes software that turns your filing cabinets of paper into searchable indexed PDFs. I currently develop software for the company, but when I started, I was on the road 5 days a week doing installs and training. Here's my best story that came out of it. After training a woman on the software, she asked me before I left a question about an email that the salesman from my company sent her. I said I didn't know about that email and could she please forward it to me so I could read the chain. She said sure, hold on, and then executed the following chain of events. She printed the email. I figured she was just going to hand me that and be done with it. Most people can't get past using paper despite my best efforts. She then took the printout and left her office. I very confusedly followed her out the door. She walked down the hallway outside her office to the photocopier and then proceeded to make a copy of the printed email. I figured once again, okay, I guess she wants to have a copy for herself for some reason. She then took the copy and walked right past me back into her office and sat down at her desk. On her desk was a desktop scanner. She then proceeded to put the photocopy of the email onto the scanner and hit scan. At this point I am bewildered. She then takes the scanned image, attaches it to an email in Outlook, addresses the email to me, types FWD in the subject line, and sends me the email. So then I had on my BlackBerry a blank email with an attached image of the email she said she would forward me. Needless to say, I was floored. TLDR, woman, instead of hitting forward email, printed the email, made a copy of it, scanned the photocopy of the email back into her computer, attached it to an email and sent me that. The biggest problem is that people who are computer illiterate incorrectly assume that their machine is smarter than them, and that's why they don't understand how to use computers. But in actuality, computers have no idea what you want them to do if you don't tell them in the few ways they understand things. The second biggest issue is impatience and reluctance to read instructions. If you were looking for your keys in your house, you don't immediately give up if they don't show up when you say, "Where is my keys?" Best line I've heard that summarizes this: a computer is a fast idiot. I taught a university class with another instructor which required students to install a bit of software. To help them, I recorded a screen capture film of the installation process with my voiceover. My co-instructor was not very computer proficient, so I played it for him to see if he could follow the instructions. We got to the end of the video and he says, "Great work. That was really easy." Rather pleased with myself, I prompted him to try installing the software. "What do you mean? Isn't it installed?" "No, that was just the instructional video." "What do you mean? What you watched was a video of how to install the software. It didn't actually install the software. Did something go wrong with the installation?" Best response: when you watch an infomercial about a new stain remover, it doesn't in fact remove the stains from the clothing in your dirty laundry basket. I can never change the homepage in my mom's browser from Google, or she can't use the internet. The internet is gone. Also, if she minimizes a window, it's gone forever. I also administratively locked the dock on her Mac because things kept disappearing, aka she clicked and dragged on accident and removed Safari from the dock. Haha, I've also had the internet is gone, as you, but also because the Internet Explorer icon had been deleted. This isn't my story but my dad's. He had his own little business for a while doing computer repairs. He got a call from a middle-aged woman complaining that every time she tried to reach the icons on the right side of her screen, her mouse would fall off the side of her desk. My dad replied, "Have you tried lifting the mouse up and moving it to the left?" Her, "Oh, thanks." My dad ran into someone once that would literally take the mouse and place it on the screen to move the cursor. Their accuracy was subpar since they couldn't see the cursor underneath their mouse. My dad double clicks on links every time, but he's been using computers for 30 plus years and is pretty much the go-to tech support at his company of 20 plus employees. He's fairly normal with everything else. That one thing just bugs me. Woman: "I can't copy this file." Me: "Alright, where is it?" Woman: "With my files." Me: "Could you show me where it is? Let's work this out." Woman opens Microsoft Word, goes to the menu and hits open. The file in question was some database file, so it doesn't open. Woman: "See." Me: "Let's go to your desktop and open my documents." Woman closes Word, back to the empty desktop, and proceeds to open Word. Open dialog. Woman: "I can do this normally." Opens a document. File. Save as. Network drive. Save. Me: "I'll rig it. Go back to your desktop. Now click on the icon that says My Documents." Woman: "Word is my documents." Me: "Please mom, let me show you." I grab the mouse, exit Word, and teach her that My Documents exists outside of Word, and that you can drag files to save as them. That day, we figured out why that department had been asking for so many recoveries. I worked for an old guy who had no concept of opening files from Windows Explorer. If he wanted a Word doc, he would open Word and then open the document. Same for Excel. The funny thing was, if he didn't know what application the file was in, he would open each one in turn looking for the file. Used to work at a library with a public computer lab, so I've seen it all. My personal favorite: guy who has probably never used a computer before sits down and then proceeds to pick up the mouse and point it at the computer screen like a remote to try to select things. He was actually a time traveler from the future and couldn't understand your library's primitive technology. Me: How can I help you? Yeah, I know, you can, get bugs in your computer. How do I stop that from happening? Me, wait, do you think you have a virus or something? No, bugs. Me, I'm not sure what you mean. Well, when I went to, move my computer today, there were these little bugs under the desk, and I wanted to know if those, are the bugs that get in your machine. Me, silence. Are these the bugs? I then had to explain to her that the computer bugs are not actual insects. It's a nice throwback to why bugs are called bugs. Client, did you receive the document I emailed to you? Me, number, I see an email from you, but no attachment. Client, I'll try again right now. Stay on the line, okay? Me, sure thing. Client, did you get it? Me, number, it's another email with no attachment. Client, I'll keep trying. My inbox is flooded with emails with no attachment. I know the client is an older person, so I intervene. Me, tell me how you're trying to send this document to me and I'll try to help. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Client, well, I start a new email and address it to you. Then I put my cursor over the paperclip icon to get it ready. Then I take the document and hold it to my screen, aka monitor. Then I hit enter to attach it to the email. Then I hit send. I'm doing it right, right? Me. Here, let me give you my fax number instead. I develop software for a living. Our software is typically used by older nurses ladies. At one point we got a tech support call that went a little like this. Phone ring. Tech support lady. Thank you for calling Blurb Tech Support. How can I help you? Nurse. Yes, my computer is doing something weird. Support. Okay, can you explain your problem to me? Nurse. If I walk away from the computer, sometimes when I come back there is a picture of a man riding a scooter on it. Support. I'm sorry? Nurse. Repeats. Support. Okay, it only happens if you leave the computer alone for a bit. Nurse. Yes, maybe 5 minutes? Support. I think that is your screensaver. Nurse. What? Support. Your screensaver? It pops up when your computer is idle for a while. Nurse. What? Support. Here, let me just remote into you and leave it open for a bit and see if I see it. Nurse. Okay, great. So I should just leave it alone for a while? Support. Sure, I'll call you when I figure it out. Nurse. Great. Support. Remotes in. Right clicks desktop. Open screensaver. It's a man riding a scooter. Disables screensaver. Calls nurse back. Support. Hello, is this nurse? Nurse. Yes. Support. I've fixed the issue for you. You should no longer see a man riding a scooter on your computer. Nurse. Oh, thank you. Support. My pleasure. I worked phone tech support during dial-up days. Needless to say I have a lot of stories. Like a guy using his mouth like a foot pedal, a woman who couldn't get her computer during power outage, and a woman with horrible static on their phone line caused by an electric fence to keep the bears out. But 99% of phone calls went like this. Caller, I can't get online. Me, what does the error message say? Click click. Caller, it says no dial tone. Me too. Standard power outage fix. Me, okay sir, go to your microwave. Sir, okay. Me, switch it on. Sir, it's broken as well. Me, phone your power company. Click. I saw someone once take a digital photo of their computer screen, then upload it back onto their computer to be emailed. Bit ashamed, but I've had to do this. Back in my Windows days, my installation was all nuts and buggy and would not print screen, among other things. Also do this if I kill my bootloader, or some other crap during boot. Oh hi there, command line login. My grandparents asked me to come over because their computer wasn't working. What was happening was they couldn't hear any sounds from the computer. I unmuted the computer and turned on the volume. At my last job my boss was fairly proficient with Excel and he loved to use it. He made a spreadsheet for just about everything and even had some knowledge on using formulas, but every time he wanted to save progress on something he was working on, he would X out of the window and click yes when the pop-up came up asking if he would like to save his document. He would then open the spreadsheet again and resume working on it. Drove me absolutely batshit crazy. When I was working help desk a long time ago, CAD engineer thought rebooting her machine was turning the monitor off and back on. How the frick could she operate CAD? My mother accidentally deleted some icons on her desktop. She called me up freaking out that she deleted AOL. Yes, she still pays for AOL, and all of her emails and email addresses were gone forever. My ex's mother screamed bloody murder at her daughter for signing out of her email. She thought if you weren't signed in, you didn't get the emails. I swear to God, she was absolutely freaking out, and she's a CPA. My dad drove me all the way out to his office so I could fix his computer at work. In his words, he did something to it, and now it was not working. When he shows it to me, the first thing I see is the loose dangling cords for the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. Facepum. You fix the stupid problem in 2 minutes and say, "Welp, all fixed. Time to go." Let them bask in their own ignorance. I used to work for the civil service. Some managers working remotely would ask their secretaries to print emails and post them to them because they didn't feel comfortable using email. In a similar thread a few months ago, someone who worked at a computer type place had a customer who would come in a couple times a year to buy a new laptop battery. The fellow didn't realize you could recharge laptop batteries. I once saw my mom trying to drag and drop a file across 2 laptop monitors. You have to use an external mouse for that. Plug mouse into one computer, right click, select copy, unplug the mouse, plug it into the other laptop, right click, select paste. We used to have a woman in the office who would get a document in an email, print it out, scan it, and then save it for our records on our server. I was in QFC, grocery store, the other day, and someone had clearly signed on the digital signature pad using a pen. Their name was there, for everyone to see how dumb they were. I've seen that in almost every place I've ever shopped in, very disconcerting. An engineer doing technical drawings in Excel with the monitor brightness turned almost all the way down. I asked what he was doing and he said he preferred working in DOS. My dad, he'll ask for help, I'll press buttons and fix it. Then he'll say things like, "So that command line abc 0320840932 is doing some crap to my quantum processing hardware, but I figured something out." Crap like that. I'm not sure if he's bad at describing things or just tries to figure things out on his own. It's nice that he's learning, but I get the feeling that he comes to his own, horribly inaccurate, conclusions. Me. "Okay dad, I'm going to teach you some computer basics." Dad, "Okay fine." Me. "Do you know what a web address is?" Dad, "Yes." Me. "Okay, what's a web address?" Dad, "It's where a spider lives." My dad used to write his emails in Notepad, then attached them to his email and send them. My dad got pissed off at Bill Gates for some ungodly reason, so he deleted Windows. Then he found out that he needs Windows to use his computer. I'm pretty sure his tech guy hates him. This'll show him. When I was in middle school, I sat next to a guy who navigated to Google after visiting another website. He highlighted the entire Google search page, then proceeded to hover his finger over the delete button on the keyboard, apparently thinking that pressing the button would permanently erase Google from the World Wide Web. He looked at me and said, "Do you dummy? I don't know, man. That could get you in trouble," I replied. He pushed the button and proceeded to freak out when he was taken back to the previous page, thinking he was about to be in serious trouble for single-handedly eradicating a prominent website. I myself am not technologically inclined, and I'm not up to date with a lot of the gadgets that are on the market. I once thought that an iPad was a phone, and put it up to my ear and mouth as though it were one. I remember everyone's laughter as I was told what it really is. I would be a dang big phone. Had a lady tell me that you should always keep a computer warm because you don't want it catching a bug or virus. This was in 1997, so I'd say she was ahead of her time. My dad once tried to delete the internet. He was getting frustrated at our slow computer, and so he shouted "frick it" and tried to delete the internet by deleting the shortcut. I'll say it again, shortcut to Internet Explorer. And he thought, by doing so, he deleted the internet from the entire world. This sounds reasonable. When he tries to get back on, tell him he's banned for vandalism. I have a few. One was someone complained that their browser wasn't working. Had a look at it, they weren't connected to the internet. Woman asked me why her laptop wasn't charging. Had a look at it, the plug wasn't switched on. Was creating a results booklet for an experiment in human biology. Started to create a table in Microsoft Word. The girl next to me shouts, "You're using the wrong program. You can't get grids in text editors." "Ah yes, the good ol' I know better than you and you're doing it wrong." Reply: "I have some sort of butt clenching reflex that goes off every time that happens." Classic. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.